During the summer, kids are spending a lot of time outdoors, and many of them make a beeline right to that backyard trampoline.
Yeah, they can be a lot of fun, but they can also be very dangerous. Sarah Masser-Donar has you covered in today's Wellness Wednesday.
We have a very specific safety reminder today for Wellness Wednesday, how to make sure you and your kiddos are safe on that backyard trampoline. So to talk about that, we have Dr. Kyle Martin with us. He's an emergency physician at SSM Health St. Mary's Hospital. Thanks for being here, Dr. Martin.
Happy to be here.
So how common are these trampoline injuries? How often do you see them?
They're very common.
Really?
2 shifts ago, I had a 5-year-old who fell and broke his elbow on a backyard trampoline. So it's something we see fairly frequently.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about, well, you just told me he broke his arm, but do you see any other types of injuries from trampoline accidents?
Sure, most severely would be head and neck injuries. That's something we see with trampolines. But most commonly, wrist fractures, elbow fractures, occasionally leg injuries too. Okay. Back injuries, but honestly, probably the wrist and the elbow are the most common injuries.
And so what would you say causes these injuries and these accidents? What are these kiddos doing that maybe lead to them?
Well, it's different things, but you know, bouncing and then falling off the edges is a common mechanism. Multiple kiddos on the trampoline at the same time, running into each other, and then as they get more adventurous, trying to do a flip or any sort of twists or anything like that can really, that's when we start to see the accidents too.
So when they're trying to get adventurous,
yeah.
They're trying to get crazy with it, and that might be when it gets a little more dangerous.
Exactly.
So what should people do, what should parents, guardians do to make these trampolines safer so everyone's having a good time and cuts down on these ER visits?
Yeah, I mean, having it on a level surface, looking around to see obstacles, trees that might be around it, having the netting up on the sides. A lot of times, again, kids are bouncing off. And then really protecting the edge of it. The frame and those springs, those are dangerous spots too, so making sure those are padded appropriately. And then finally, it's not something to have just go out in the yard and play. If they're going to be on the trampoline, they really do need some adult supervision to make sure as they start getting more adventurous that there's someone there to give them some pause.
So I want to talk a little bit to wrap up here about like public trampolines. Like maybe a lot of us have brought our kids to like a trampoline park or something. Do the same kind of safety guidelines apply here?
Oh, for sure, yeah. My boys are a little older, but when they were preteens and a little younger, that was a fun activity for the family to do. You see older kids being injured at the trampoline parks, a little bit more of a kind of risk-taking behavior, more often leg injuries, but we do still ultimately see the same kinds of injuries: broken wrists, broken elbows, head injuries.
Yeah.
They have certain safety features in place, but then again, because of the activities they're doing at those parks, there can be some riskier moves and often result in injury.
So probably though, same thing, supervise them,
Yes.
whether they're in your backyard or if they're at one of these little adventure parks.
Yes.
It's good to keep an eye on them.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, Dr. Martin, thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Of course, and we'll put all this information on our website for you, but for now, back to you guys.